Welcome to the Amazing Guitar Secrets course. My name is Daniel Denley, and I'd like to thank you for investing in this course because it means that you're serious about learning guitar. The very first thing I'd like to do is to let you know that this course is not about me. It's not about me showing out. It's not about me showing you a few licks or teaching you a few chords. This course is about you, and it's about helping you to become a better guitar player and a better musician. And what I'd like to do is to explain to you a little bit of how the course is going to work, from the beginning to the end. So one of the first things I want to do is explain that this course is from an A to Z course on guitar. And now you may have just bought your guitar. You may not even know how many strings are on a guitar yet, and you may be an advanced player. But no matter where you are on the scale, on the spectrum of musicians, this course is going to take you by the hand and lead you step by step, a systematic way to learn guitar. And I'm also going to give you the theoretical background that you're going to need to be able to really build on one skill set on the other so that you can become the very best musician that you can be. What I'm not going to do is teach you a few licks, teach you a few chords, and then just cut you loose. What I've tried to do is think back on when I was learning how to play guitar when I was only 14 years old, and some of the frustrations that I had as a guitarist, where I would rent a video of a particular player, I'd pop it in, and I would sit there and I would think, wow, this guy is awesome, but the video was more about this guy showing off all of his tricks and techniques versus him actually teaching me anything. And I would have my chair 6 inches from the screen trying to look at his fingers and figure out exactly what he was doing, and then I'd get frustrated and he'd look up at the camera and say, gee, it's just that easy, and I would think, no, it's not that easy and I don't understand, and I would put it in slow motion. And so what I'm going to try to do is make this entire course about you and about me helping you to grow and to learn and get a foundational understanding of music, and specifically the guitar. Now, one of the big questions I always get is, about my background, because it is somewhat unique among guitarists. I was classically trained, and my mom hauled me off to piano lessons every week when I was 5 years old, and I pretty much hated it at that point. But as I got into high school and I started actually being able to play some real pieces, I started to like it. And how I got into guitar was I'd always loved rock music, and I cut my teeth on bands like Megadeth and Metallica, and I was pretty much a heavy metal head. And I learned those those guitarists, and I studied them, like Marty Friedman and Kirk Hammett and Dave Mustaine, and I studied their techniques and their styles. And fortunately for me, I had the classical background to understand what they were doing musically. So at 14, I started learning those guitarists, and I became pretty good, and I started a band. And eventually, what I did was I played in about 10 different bands at the time I was in high school and college and whatnot. And how I got into singing was I was a lead guitarist. We had a show coming up, and we didn't have a singer. And so we all auditioned for each other, and they said, okay, Dan, you can sing the best out of all of us. And I said, okay, but I'm only singing for this one show, and that's it, because I'm a guitarist. Well, one show came and went, and the second show came and went, and a third, and so on, and we never found a singer, and I just kept singing. So I wound up joining the choir in high school because I wanted to learn how to sing properly, because I didn't know how to support, I didn't understand breathing, and I would always wind up hoarse the next day after a show. I got a scholarship to study private voice. I did that, and I continued my piano lessons at this time. I continued playing my band. I went to college. I wound up getting a scholarship to study voice, and specifically music. And I went there, studied voice and piano, and wound up getting my degree actually in music history, which was another story in and of itself. And I had the opportunity to be around a lot of great classical musicians, a lot of great jazz musicians, a lot of great rock and rollers. I mean, Steve Vai, even when I was at the Eastman School of Music in Rochester, New York. So I was very well-rounded, and I took all of this experience that I had and the theory that I had learned, and I've put it all together here for you in this course so that you can take it and really go as far as you want. no matter what your goal is as a guitarist. You can take this course in bite-sized segments and sections, study that particular lesson until you master it, and then move on. Now certainly you can listen to the entire thing, watch the entire thing from start to finish, and that's good, and you probably should do that. But then when you get ready to implement the ideas and the strategies and the techniques, start back and take one lesson at a time, because we're building a strong foundation, a strong musical background, so that you can understand chords, you can understand chord structures. If you see an F major 7th chord on a chord chart and you don't even know how to play an F7 chord, you can certainly figure that out if you understand scales and you understand the theory behind it.